I would absolutely say this is my favorite horror film of the year so far, and this film overall is absolutely groovy. What is up, guys and horror fans? Welcome back to my channel. This is OCD Movie Reviews. My name is Alyssa and today I am going to review the latest horror film that came out, and it's one of my most anticipated horror films of the year, Evil Dead Rise. This movie is the 5th movie in the Evil Dead franchise, and this movie is directed by Cronin, and this movie stars Alyssa, Sutherland, and Lily Sullivan. A twisted tale of two estranged sisters whose reunion is cut short by the rise of flesh-possessing demons, thrusting them into a battle for survival as they face the most nightmarish version of family imaginable. Now, of course, I love the Evil Dead franchise. The first movie is a classic. Evil Dead 2, though, is one of my favorite horror films, I would say, of all time. That movie I watch every single Halloween. It's silly, it's fun, it's bloody, it's practical. Bruce Campbell, what could go wrong with that movie? I really enjoyed Evil Dead 2. Army of Darkness, I finally saw it. It's my least favorite in the trilogy, but I still think it's a fun time. And also the remake of Evil Dead is probably one of the best horror remakes that came out, I would say, ever. So coming from an Evil Dead fan, I was anticipated for this movie. This is definitely my most anticipated horror film of the year. Since I'm a fan of the Evil Dead movies, of course I was pumped for this movie. And the trailers absolutely exceed my expectations. This movie looks like a fun time. And I gotta say, guys, walking out of this movie, I'm so happy to say that Evil Dead Rise exceeded my expectations in every way. This movie was a total freaking blast for me. Now, I just wanted to say, if you have not seen any Evil Dead movie, do not worry. This film feels like its own thing. It actually feels like a softcore reboot in a way, because this film has Easter eggs from the Evil Dead movies, but it doesn't feel like it has a connection with the other movies. This movie does feel like a softcore reboot of the Evil Dead franchise, and I thought it completely works in the film. Now, also the location in this film, of course, it's different comparing to the other Evil Dead movies. This movie takes place in an apartment complex. Does this movie work because it takes place in a different location? Yes, you feel very claustrophobic in this location, and I thought the Evil Dead stuff really works in this apartment complex location. It makes this movie much more terrifying and much more icky, because yes, this is probably the scariest Evil Dead film that I have ever seen. There are some really good scares in this film. There are some really disturbing imagery also in this film that makes you feel like you're in the edge of your seat the entire time. And I just gotta appreciate Cronin directing this movie, because you can really tell that he is a fan of the Evil Dead franchise, because he's putting so much love to this film. When it comes to the cinematography, the shots in the film are great. I would say this film makes me not want to look in a peephole in a door for a long time, because man, those peephole shots, man, they're so fantastic in the film that you literally just want to shit yourself.
Open up now.
You don't look so good, Mom.
Nothing a big old kiss from you won't fix.
I was terrified throughout the film, but I was also having a total blast with this film. I would say the action scenes in this film is just a freaking blast because of how brutal this film is. This film is 100% a bloodbath. Seriously, this movie is full freaking on. There's so many gore in this film. There's so much freaking deaths in this film where you're just like, oh my god, shit! The kills in the film are unbelievable. But there's also some really gross out scenes that you literally just want to puke. My advice to you guys, do not buy any popcorn for this film or any beverage, because you're gonna feel pretty sick after this film, after all the brutality scenes in the film. Let's also talk about the cast in this film. Lily Sullivan, I thought she does a great job in the film. She's another great protagonist in the Evil Dead series. She's a badass in this film. You really care for her, and you want these kids to be protected, of course, by this possessed mother, and you really enjoy her character throughout the film, and she has a bit of an arc in this film that I find very, very interesting in the film, and I thought she does a great job in the film. I want to see her in more stuff. She's an Australian actress, which I did not know. I want to see her in more stuff because I thought she does a great job in the film. Also, the kids in the film are great as well, especially this little girl in this film. I thought she does a really great job in the film. She's definitely a breakthrough actress that I will remember throughout this year so far. But I gotta say, guys, the person that absolutely stood out in this movie is Alyssa Sutherland as the possessed mother. Holy shit, she is fantastic in this film. She is terrifying in this film. When you just see her possessed in the film, you're already on the edge of your seat. And Alyssa Sutherland looks like she had a total freaking blast acting in this movie. Which I don't blame her, because I feel like this is a fun role for her. Every single scene she's in, she just gets better and better and better and more terrifying and more terrifying. There's so many sick shit that she does in the film where I'm just like, how are the filmmakers handling that in this film? And it's thanks to Alyssa Sutherland's performance. I thought she does a really terrific job in the film. And she's probably one of the scariest looking characters that I've ever seen in a horror film in a long time. Damn. That makeup is fantastic in the film. Throughout start to finish, the pacing of this film is fantastic. This film is 85 minutes long. It is pretty short, but the pacing, I think, is perfect for a film like this. If this movie was 2 hours, there's going to be so much exposition. This film is very, very simple, but also very effective at the exact same time. Overall, guys, Evil Dead Rise was a total freaking blast from start to finish. This film is brutal. It's a bloodbath. But man, for Evil Dead fans, they're going to love this movie. For non-Evil Dead fans, I think you're going to find something to like about this movie. If you don't like gross out and brutal humor, of course don't watch this movie, because this movie is full freaking on. But honestly, I had a total blast with Evil Dead Rise. The cast does a great job. The horror scenes are great. This is definitely the scariest I have seen from the Evil Dead movie in a very long time. Cronin looks like he knows what he's doing with this film, and I want to see more from his, because I am going to give Evil Dead Rise an A. I would absolutely say this is my favorite horror film of the year so far, and this film overall is absolutely
groovy.
So guys, that is my review for Evil Dead Rise. Let me know what you think of this movie in the comments below. Do you like this movie, or you hate this movie, or you find this movie okay? And what is your favorite Evil Dead film in the Evil Dead franchise? Let me know that also in the comments below. Make sure you guys follow me on social media links down below. Keep contact with me, and make sure you guys subscribe to my channel for my latest movie reviews and other movie related content. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a nice day.